Okay, everyone, welcome to this edition of, I guess, Lunch and Learn, and spending the next 30 to 45 minutes with us this afternoon. We're really happy to have you here. We're kind of excited to tell you a little bit about the GLP market and, give you a little background information about what has happened. Again, for those of you who are just joining, good afternoon. My name is Merdad Hariri. I'm a pharmacist. I'm CEO and the founder of RX Connection. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We're really excited to have you here. So, over the next 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to dive into a very important topic, which is how to evolve your pharmacy business beyond the GLP, or what can you do after this GLP craze goes away and you still be able to generate revenues and things like that. So, today we also have a distinguished guest. His name is Greg McKettrick. He is a specialist in men's health with Revelation Health. Hi, Greg.
How you doing today?
Fantastic. So Greg is going to be with us today. He has a wealth of knowledge and experience when it comes to men's health, urology, ED, and erectile dysfunction. And he has been featured in many, many, many videos and presentations and seminars. And he is the right man to ask anything about ED. So we have him here as a guest. We're going to talk about, he's going to, at the end of my presentation in just a few minutes, he's going to talk about developing wellness programs and things like that that involves men's health. So uh, let's switch the slide. And so let's just give it a quick background about this GLP and what has transcribed in the last couple of years. So let's set the stage. As you know, FDA temporary allowance of compounded GLP products like semaglutide is ending. It's just a couple of days away. May 22nd is the final date that you can legally purchase these products or formulations. However, you can sell these products as long as you purchase them before the 22nd. You can sell these products for as long as it's not exceeding the beyond use state, or uh, you know, it's like expiration date, whichever comes first. So over the past 2 years, okay, over the past 2 years, the 503Bs outsourcing facilities, help fill a massive amount of these GLP products like tirzepatide, semaglutide. I would say the count of like millions and tens of millions of doses that was sold because of the shortage for things like Wegovy and Mounjaro and Ozempic and so on. And these medications were provided to pharmacies at a much more affordable price than Wegovy and Mounjaro that were sky high. And right now the window is closing. And the question is then, what's next for my pharmacy? Okay. So what's next for your pharmacy is let's first like kind of like give you a little background information about 503 A's and B's. You may all know what a 503 A and B is are, but uh, 503A pharmacies can still have the ability to compound these alternative GLP-1 therapies by adding variation like B6, 12, glycine, L-carnitine, whatever that may be. They can still do these kind of formulation and provide these to the patients. Okay. These changes kind of fall within the FDA guideline and can be formulated uniquely for the patient's need. And that's the key word, patient's need. So if the patient's doing our, say, telemedicine program that we provide, the ExpediCare, then there has to be documented uh, report that the patient, say, could not tolerate that dosage or couldn't tolerate that formulation. And that's when these compounded products will come in the picture. There's also a 503B, a 10% variation rule, which basically FDA says if as long as the product, they call it the uh, uh, clone product, or the uh, I forgot the terminology, but they call it something like you know, brand products. As long as the 503B can make a product that is similar or the same formulation as the brand product, as long as it meets that 10% variation, so it could be plus and minus 10% based on the patient need, they can also compound these products. Now, this is a little gray area because problem is that 503Bs cannot they have some restrictions. So they cannot just go create millions of doses of, say, semaglutide 0.175 milligram, because that's not how it is. These should be done. Uh, so volume production is not allowed, and there has to be some medical necessity for these type of products, and it has to be documented. Next opportunity, and that's what we're going to talk about right now, is our central fill process. So, what is a central fill process? I'm sure most of you have heard of central fill, but with this model, a 503A pharmacy does all the heavy lifting, handling all the regulatory compliance, the formulation, preparations, and inspections, and everything else that they need to go through, while your pharmacy just simply delivers the care and fulfillment. So you don't have to have any kind of compounding expertise or investment or anything else. You simply choose a central fill that we have, and they would be through our telemedicine. So if you use our telemedicine, prescriptions are directed to our 503A facility. They will fulfill that and then send it out to uh, your pharmacy, and you can hand it to your patients. And you can collect that money ahead of time. So a patient goes to your telemedicine, you see the prescription. If for those of you who use ExpediCare, you see the actual prescription, you call the patient, or you can collect the money up front, and then you can then release the prescription, and that prescription then goes to a 503A, or they just simply type it in, put it in the bag, and ship it to your pharmacy. And then when you get it, you can call the patient and say your prescription is ready now. Okay, so that is the process for a 503A facility, central fill. Now, we have something else that uh, some of you may frown at it and say, what are you talking about? You're telling me that I can sell Ozempic for 200 bucks? And the answer is yeah. Yeah. You can sell Ozempic, brand name Ozempic for 200 bucks. So how does that work? Well, that's done through our 503B facility that partners with us, and they repackage semaglutide cartridges. So you all, if you ever work for chains like Walmart or CVS or places like that, you see they buy a barrel of, say, Premarin, and they package those up for 30 bottles with the NDC number, and they ship it to the store, so the pharmacist doesn't have to count pills, just slap the label on it, out the door he goes. That is called repackaging. And that's something that ever since I've been a pharmacist, which has been about 43 years, I have seen it done. And I actually worked in a facility back in the early mid 80s, and I saw how they were packaging things up and sending it to the pharmacies. So, what does that mean? That means that a 503B can purchase these products, repackage these, and here's the catch. And the catch is that they just can't put these products in a vial and hand it to you. What they have to do, they repackage it in a form that is using a auto injector. Okay. So right now, as of right now, this product, the repackaged semaglutide cartridges or Ozempic, okay, is $225 for a 3 ml. So it's a 4 milligram per 3 ml, and it's only $225. But the caveat is that you have to buy the auto injector, which is $200. Key is that you only buy these auto injector one time and one time only. It's good for 10,000 uses. Okay. And all you got to do is put the pen needle in, you're good to go. So, how does this work? You order these products, and you have the NDC of Ozempic right on the package, as it's pre-packaged and everything. And a patient comes in, yeah, we have Ozempic. We repackaged Ozempic, and this is what we use. And compared to brand name, you're saving 70%, 80%, whatever that may be. Okay. Keep in mind that let's just say if you market this for $499 for the first month, your cost was $425. That's the $200 plus the 225. So you say you made $75. But in the second month, you're going to be making $275 because they don't need the auto injector anymore. They just need the medication. If they break the auto injector, yeah, you can sell them another one for $200, if you want to. So this is how the pre-packaging works. So this process, according to our legal advice, this is a time-sensitive process, meaning that we only got a limited number of days right now for those who want to get on this repackaged semaglutide or Ozempic to sign up to get these products. So as you see on the right-hand side, there's a little form there. If you go to rxconnection.com/contact one, numeric one, and just put in your name, okay, we will send you this form. All you got to do is fill it out, send it back to us. Keep in mind, the minimum purchase is 25 cartridges. So we don't sell 1, 10, 5, whatever. What does that amount to? That amounts to about $10,000 investment. I know that may be a little heavy for some people, but at the same time, it's available. It's another option for you guys. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is that somebody just asks, hey, can I bill insurance for this? Because it's got the NDC number. The answer is yeah, you can bill insurance for it. The only thing that you need to know, and that depends on your risk tolerance, is that your PBM may come in and say, hey, you just sold, 100 Ozempic. Show me your purchases, because they get all the purchases from wholesalers and things like that. Show me where you bought them. Give me the invoices. And then when you put the invoice from your 503B in front of your PBM, they're going to say, that's not acceptable. They're not VAWD. You can't purchase those things from them. So for that reason, you owe us $2 million. So as long as you're aware of that and you know that they can potentially come back at you and recoup all the money, you can bill insurance. But I would say just keep that for your cash customers, provide telemedicine, and do not start. The whole key that we're trying to do, the whole point of RX Connection is to get you guys away from PBM related revenue. We're trying to go into the cash model. That's why we have a cost plus RX program. And I encourage all of you to go to rxconnection.com, take a look at the cost plus, take a look at the telemedicine, take a look at everything that we have. And that is why Greg is here today, because we have another cash generating program that is actually knock your socks off. I guarantee it. Greg and I have been working together for a while, and we have a very, very exciting program, involves urology, ED, and that sort of stuff. Okay. So let's continue on, because I know Greg wants to talk about the urology part. So what else can you do? I mean, what are these cash revenue stuff that you're talking about? We're talking about creating a wellness pharmacy. Not a pharmacy, but a wellness pharmacy. What is defined a wellness pharmacy? Some pharmacies say, Bob's Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Okay, that's good. Or you may add the wellness to your name. Valley Pharmacy and Wellness. That's fine. What we want to do is create a wellness pharmacy out of every one of you, hopefully, that can provide not only like GLP, as it says right in here, and you can provide through a 503A, you can provide this GLP oral formulation like microdosing GLPs and drops, sublinguals, troches. Every one of those can be compounded through our network 503A and be provided to you. No problem. Okay. Also, NAD plus. Okay. NAD plus, it's for fatigue, mental clarity, sleep support. So it's used for a lot of different things. And, if you have ever looked into the NAD, it's a prescription medication. It comes in an injection form, and our doctors through Expedicare will supply you with a prescription, and that you can give this to your patients. Okay. Specialty compounds. These are like glutathione, methylene blue, MIC injections that targets specific health concerns and that you can customize with formulation and things like that. Again, that can all be compounded through your 503A. And then the last but not least are like peptides. There are a lot of peptides that are available out there. And there's some companies that sell these peptides. Of course, those are all experimental. I would not suggest getting into peptides, but there's one notably interesting stuff, Sermorelin, which is an anti-aging and performance. It is still a prescription. It is compounded, and you can purchase these through our 503B. And you can sell those again with your telemedicine and provide these to your patients. And these are all cash-based, profitable services. Okay. And your pharmacy doesn't need to compound them. We have the partners and the infrastructure in place to be able to handle everything for you. All you got to do is bring your patients in to purchase these or go through the telemedicine. And if you need anything, RX Connection is also a complete marketing agency. We create websites, we do digital solutions such as SEO, backlinks, AdWords, advertising, marketing, and print materials such as brochures, flyers. It's on our website. If you go to marketing, you will see to our store. You don't have to be a member. You can go there and actually purchase those as you need them and put them on your website, your social media. But if you want us to do it, we'll do it for you at the very minimal cost. Okay. So how do you, this marketing the wellness pharmacy, how do you go about marketing these in your community? Well, that's actually is easier than you think it is because now you have, uh, let me move this up a little bit. Yeah. So number one is direct to consumer, DTC, or through RX Connection, right? So if you have a good, fast website, you have the telemedicine, you do the social media marketing, you do the boosting your ads, and if you are do all the printing, cards, brochures, flyers, things like that, posters that you can put on that we provide you all of that stuff you can put in your store, then that brings attention. Okay. And people, and one of the things that one of our pharmacies do is that print these like business cards, for example, and they put a QR code on it and put it in every bag that leaves the store. Okay. I mean, and these cards cost 1/3 of a penny each. I mean, that's how much it costs. Okay. This way you bring attention, of course, with your social media that we can post on your behalf on your social media, things such as videos, nice little gifts, whatever you want. We are your total marketing agency when it comes to it at a very, very reasonable price. We're not like charging you hundreds and hundreds of dollars for useless things that, you know, you're never ever going to see or use or anything like that. We tailor it just for you. Even have a video production. Okay. So like videos are awesome. If you go to our site, to our online store, you can see some of these videos. You see how these videos are made. It's beautiful. You know, it's like commercial on Facebook, right? For your store, on TikTok or whatever. Okay. And of course, if you use Tabula RX, which is that's another one of the programs that we have a database of 8.3 million providers in the country. You can easily fax these doctors or email these doctors or send postcards to these physicians. It's that easy. Postcards directly to them, first class mail. We do it all for you directly to these providers that you choose, okay? Or to the streets or, back alleys or neighborhoods that you want to go to. We do that mail out for postcard mail out for you, okay? So who else can you go to? Specialty physicians. I mean, functional medicine physicians are awesome. I'm sure if you Google them or if you go to our Tabula RX, you can look at the functional medicine or, naturopathic medicine. You see a whole bunch of these physicians. Visit them, send them a postcard, tell them what you're doing. And anti-aging clinics, sports medicine, because a lot of these has to do with performance improvement. So You could be talking to these doctors. Orthopedic doctors are great. Allied health, like chiropractors, they can't write prescriptions, but if you go talk to them, hey, we got this and this, well, I need a prescription. That's okay. We got the telemedicine. That's it. Just give these cards to your patients, and they'll go and click, and they go and get Sermorelin, NAD, whatever they need. And if you have something that else that you need, let us know. We'll make you anything you want. So you are just, pardon me, you are just like a fully functional 503A facility. Okay, I mean, that's how good it can be. And then wellness providers. Okay, these are some of the things that you may not think about it right away. IV therapy bars. There's a whole bunch of IV drips and places like that. You may want to go talk to them. You'll be surprised what they can do for you. Weight loss clinics. There's a whole bunch of weight loss clinics. Right now, we're working with weight loss clinic of about 350 clinics across the country, and they see in the pain. They're saying, okay, what do I do next, Mardad? How do we do it? GLP's gone. Well, this is what you need to do, and that's when you come in. That's where you come in as your local somebody that know you locally, and you have a brick and mortar store. They can contact you. You can talk to them. Personal trainers, gyms, and spas. These are all great places for you to promote your business. So, how do you create a wellness focused pharmacy? I'm going to be real brief. You got to provide specialized treatments. Urology. I'm going to let Greg talks about this. Gender specific care like men's and women's health, BHRT, hair loss, and many, many more. We have over 125 compounded formulation on our Expedicare. So you can choose any or all. Or when you work with the 503A, if you have some kind of need for some kind of formulation or that's new, let us know. We can add this into your template and everything else. Basically, comprehensive wellness. Okay, expand your medication to total health management and not just dispensing medication. So what we're trying to tell you is that transform your pharmacy from a medication dispensary to a health destination. And patient seeks comprehensive care from a trusted source. Again, I'm going to let Greg talk about this erectile dysfunction, but when you become a urology specialist, and that's our job, Greg and I will show you how to become a urology specialist. You complete the training. It's a complete training that books and all that you have to go through. It's like a certificate. And I believe, Greg, do you get CEs for that too?
There's CEs available for it. Yes, it is a
Yeah.
CE approved program.
Right. So it's okay. So you can actually get C's for it too. Kill two birds into one, right? And then what you do with that, you collaborate with your physician, to your urologist. They actually would love to hear from you because when somebody goes in for ED, hey, here's your Viagra, go home. And in 5 minutes they're out the door. Now you can have them come to your pharmacy either through telepharmacy or telemedicine, telepharmacy platform that you can provide to these patients, or they can come to your store, one-on-one consultation, and actually you get paid for that. Okay. So just to summarize here real quick before Greg takes over, you got the 24/7 telehealth. We have seen increase of over 35% revenue increases for pharmacies who are using our platform, and you have instant access to everything. You don't have to wait a week, 2 weeks, whatever. It's immediate access to everything else. With that, I'm going to hand the microphone over to Greg. So, Greg, go ahead. The podium is all yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Mirdad. And guys, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Listen, if you're not excited by this, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because this is like the super juice that can get your business going. Number one thing, having Expedicare in your pharmacy is great. It's like having a clinician on staff so that you can generate those prescriptions, get that volume in the system immediately. With this new partnership that we're doing in terms of the central fill process, being able to use the 503A, 503B pharmacies to provide compounded prescriptions for your patients. This takes this to a new level for you. And as Merdad said, I specialize with men's health and hormone therapies. I run men's health for Revelation Pharma. I do talks with clinics, with providers, with patients. all over the country. I travel extensively so that I can educate both the prescribers and the patient bases. And the bottom line is, what we do in a snapshot. If you're online at all, looking at all these online providers, these telehealth providers, I'm not going to start naming all of them, but the Hims and Romans and Rougettes and these guys have these super products that just aren't available. You can't get them through your wholesalers, right? Because they're compounded, and that's basically what they are. Well, guess what? We've been doing that stuff for 15 years. We know exactly how those formulations need to be put together to address patients. From an ED standpoint, I was working from a centralized pharmacy and just from reputation, from word of mouth, started getting so many referrals from urologists who basically were pushing their patients off saying, listen, I either don't have time or don't understand the pharmacology or can't really piece together all the different therapies that this patient's on and really need somebody to siphon this down for me and give me what a recommendation would be appropriate for this individual. That blew up. That became kind of the new order of the business that I was doing, because being able to work with them and make these recommendations allowed me to steer that business and guide the therapies. Now you incorporate what is available. Obviously, you guys have access to PDE5 tablets. That's great. But everybody has that, right? And here's the thing. Most of these guys who have been on PDE5 tablets for any length of time, they stop working after a few years. So then you have to start incorporating other things, special supplements that really boost their natural function, and then more aggressive forms of therapy that just simply work better. These sublingual medications, and again, I'm not going to sit here and make claims, but I will tell you, absorption rate much higher than a tablet. They're not interfered with by stomach content. They are able to be compounded in combinations where you can fine tune this therapy to really address a patient's needs. And then as the patient graduates through, then we start incorporating things like the penile injections. You guys are familiar with Edex and Caverject, those things, but from a compounding standpoint, we can be much more aggressive using multiple ingredients. My role here and what I really want to be able to do is take out of my head and what I do and what my practice has been and put that in your pharmacy. So now instead of just having those commercial products available to your patients, now you're going to have these compounded variations. And not only are you going to be able to offer them, but the whole goal of this is to educate you, to get you to where you are proficient in these therapies, to where you can make recommendations for individual patients when, especially when their doctor basically they've kind of thrown their hands up. Now you can be the source, the resource, both for that practitioner and for the patient. You can be the one who goes in and says, listen, we've got programs, we've got therapies that work better than what the commercial products are. We can help your patient. We can guide them with proper combinations. We can put together packages for their therapy, including the supplements or devices like vacuum pumps that are so critical. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of the docs and patients just don't know where to get them. They're hunting on Amazon trying to find things, and who knows what they're going to get. By putting this knowledge and the availability of the compounded products in your hands, putting that on your website, basically making you an expert so that at that point you are able to do these consults. You have patients that come in and they start telling you, hey, I've been on Viagra for 5 years and it just doesn't work anymore. This is a natural invitation to really get into an in-depth conversation about how the function is, what the physiological response is, why these medications over time start to be less and less effective. If we can get you proficient in understanding these therapies, how you incorporate this for patients, and through the central fill process, you now have that available as if that's literally sitting on your shelf ready to go. As far as that patient and that prescriber is concerned, you're the 100% resource now. So now that opens up this next chapter for you. Being able, Merdad was great talking about the marketing, allied health providers, specialty clinics. Well, guys, guess what? Allied health providers like chiropractors, like physical therapists, these are folks who are always looking for new avenues, new revenue streams. How can they expand and start doing more? They're doing all kinds of lab work and gut testing, this and that. If you partner with those practitioners and you offer them the ability of this telehealth platform with your knowledge that you're picking up. And now you're able to walk in there and partner with them where both of you you're having these synergies that just start to blow up. And again, you're developing new revenue streams and expanding your patient base. And you're starting to attract more and more referrals coming in from the providers in the area. Now you can amplify your business. You can get into, as Merdad was talking about, paid consultations. So, you have patients sign up for a 15-minute or a 30-minute block where you can go through with them step by step, look at their history. What have they tried before? What other comorbidities are on board? Is it a patient with ED who has diabetes? Okay, let's look at the baselines. What are we doing? How do we address blood flow? How do we address erectile function? Or get into the next level. I have a full penile rehab. It's a post prostatectomy care plan where we literally take management of that patient. We partner with their providers so that we can do the day-to-day, the mundane, the interview, the progress notes, supply all that information back to the doc so that we're helping that patient in recovery. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is a huge gap in care. There is an enormous need for that in that patient population, hundreds of thousands of patients that need that kind of service. Guys, we're literally putting this on a plate for you. It's on a platter. We're going to give you the training so that you can understand it. We're going to make you so that you are proficient. We will also be there as a support role so that, as you're going through this process, we can kind of help you through any kind of rough bumps or if you have a question that pops up. But again, the core of this is having the availability to have the access to these centrally filled compounds. We're talked about GLP-1s. Guess what, guys? All of those weight loss clinics that have been relying on GLP-1s, now they're trying to figure out, what do I do next? What happens if this goes away? How do I sustain my business? You can approach them and offer them ways where they can diversify their practice. You can go in there and help them build out new treatment plans for their patients so that they can maintain those, they can retain patient business, they can expand their business. And guess what? That's expanding your business too. And it's increasing your footprint in the community. So you start to become really that go-to person. You're going to be the resource where everybody is directing their patients and their calls, asking questions of you. Why? Because you have information that is not readily available. And I don't mean just from pharmacies. I mean from the urology clinics, from the men's clinics, wherever you go. They're going to see you as this enormous value add to their practice because not only do you have the services in terms of filling prescriptions and the compounded prescriptions, but that knowledge base where, again, you can really take burden off of those offices. You can provide these touch points that they just don't have time for. I mean, if you've been to a doctor lately, you go in and you might get 10 minutes in an office with a doc, and seven of those minutes, they're on a computer just typing in your basic information. Those patients don't get all the questions answered. You can fill that role. This is a starting point. ED is again my specialty, but I also work with hormone therapy, sexual medicine for men and women, dermatological, weight loss. All of these different components can be incorporated into your pharmacy. And guess what? We can help you with this. We're not putting something out there where you buy it, take it home, and try and put it together. We're not IKEA. We're actually doing the assembly process for you, putting together basically a finished product. Call it white glove service, where all you have to do is put those on your website, offer these services. Again, we have the training that's necessary to get you proficient so that you can do this confidently. And we are here to support you on the back end of things. It's a beautiful setup, guys. If you don't see the value in this, I don't know what to tell you because everybody's looking to add these cash streams and get away from insurance payment. These are cash-based approaches to business that are literally going to blow up your store because you're going to just see new populations and have new opportunities to work. So again, I get excited about this. I know when I first started talking to Merdad, we were doing some basic education, and then all of these other services that Expedicare and RX Connection offers were kind of introduced, and I brought them in for our company. And I know what it's going to do for us, and I have a great feeling on what we can do for your businesses. And really, I appreciate this opportunity.
Hey, Greg, thank you. A lot of good information. Greg, can you also touch upon the supplements like nitric oxide testing and that sort of stuff? I know
Yeah,
you kind of talked about it, but if you could just briefly just mention that because that's also a source of revenue for the pharmacies, correct?
absolutely. And just as a background, I guess, probably for the last 15 years, I've incorporated different nitric oxide products because from the pharmacotherapy, you know that it's essential. Nitric oxide is an essential gas in the body. Without that, sexual function for both men and women literally falls off the table. For men, you think, well, ED, so you give them a PDE5 inhibitor. That's great. You know the pharmacotherapy behind this. The PDE5 inhibitor blocks the enzyme, protects the cyclic GMP. Cyclic GMP is what really allows you to get the erection. Well, guess what? Cyclic GMP requires nitric oxide as an activating molecule. By the age of 50, nitric oxide, we're producing about 35% of what we should. By 60, it's down to about 15%. By adding that simple component, you now can really boost the response to these ED medications, whether it's the compounded sublingual troches or oral disintegrating tablets, or even the commercial products. The great thing about this, we have point of contact testing. Saliva test strips takes 5 seconds, and you can actually do a diagnostic immediately for the patient, show them where they are deficient, explain how that ties into the therapy and how this can benefit and really protect their natural function. This is one suggestion. This is one component that can add. There's so many more that we can build on. And don't think that that's just for men, because for women, nitric oxide is huge too. Just like hormones are reduced and depleted with age, so is nitric oxide. Guess what? Circulatory function, vaginal perfusion, clitoral perfusion, orgasmic function, natural lubrication, increased oxytocin production. Again, we're talking about keying in on sexual function, orgasmic function, erectile response, and sexual pleasure for both men and women. So this is just, again, another example of a real easy add-on that you can incorporate into these packages. And now all of a sudden, you're not only are you selling that PDE5 or the PDE5 sublingual troche,
Mhm.
now you're selling 1 or 2 or 3 months worth of the supplement along with it, because once they start using it, they're going to realize, man, everything else is working so much better that I have to have this. And again,
Excellent.
great suggestion, Rodette.
Yeah. And you can also, with the Expedicare, you can sell these as a package. So when they come in, if you don't know how it's done, you can definitely schedule a call and we can, with our expert, they can show you exactly how you can create a package. Let's just say you want to put some, you know, testers, nitric oxide pills or, the actual medication, combine them in like a kit, like many years ago in my pharmacies, we used to have a dermatology kit that included the clindamycin and, other type of acne products along with, let's say, panoxyl soap or a face lubricant or moisturizer, things like that, retin-A with different things. So related items. So you could provide these. You could actually, and I'm sure you've probably seen some of these kits that they advertise on TV. The doctor from CNN now advertising wellness kits or whatever they call it. That's exactly what we're talking about. But you are in the right position. None of those online people, yeah, they got tons of money, they spend tons of money, they get tons of prescriptions, but you could be doing the same thing. You could be doing, a lot of marketing, and you could be getting a lot of people coming into you organically and say, hey, can I talk to you? Yeah, I got this issue. Well, let's sit down and let's schedule a call with us for 15 minutes, pay me $50, and I'll tell you. And I'll do the testing, I'll do the write-up and everything else, hand over the papers, the finding, whatever you want to do, soap notes, and everything else, and give it to the patient. Let them take it over to the physician before they make an appointment, so they can get a better response from a doctor. Or they say, I don't want to go to a doctor. That's embarrassing. That clinic is no good. I don't like the doctor. Well, we have a doctor right in here. Let him write you the prescription you need, the trimix, bimix, whatever you want, and then we'll keep everything monitored here at the pharmacy and make sure that you're getting the best results. So this is the whole idea. So like Greg said, if this does not excite you when it comes to cash business, and I'm not just talking about Viagra, things like that, have the ability to compound anything. Okay. So if your pharmacy have never made a troche, never made a suspension, You don't have to worry about anything. We'll do everything for you. Okay. All you got to do is just use the Expedicare. Prescription gets sent over to our 503A partner pharmacy. They'll fill it, ship it to you. You hand it to the patient, and it's done. And again, the revenue that you get from supplements and things like that. If you want an online store at RX Connection, we create you a very good looking store, online store, e-com, within days for just a couple of $100. Okay. And you can put on your website, and you can start selling these products. There's vacuum pumps, there's supplements, all ashwagandha, whatever you're trying to sell. And some of our pharmacies are doing that. And actually, we have a pharmacy that, I spoke to one guy. He said that, last month we sold about $3,600 worth of online business, and those are those supplements that they have, like pure encapsulation, thorn, ortho biomolecular, whatever the brand they have. It's all there, and the pharmacist recommends it. Patients buy it. You have an online store. Hey, the patient needs to buy more. Just jump on your website and purchase it, and you continue to make money. One thing I just want to mention before we leave, we answer a couple of questions that we have, and then that would be it for us. Would be our saying at our connection is that if your website is not making you money, then it's not good.
Yeah.
Anybody's website should be making money for you. It should generate X amount of dollar per month as revenue. And if it's not doing it, you need to contact us, talk to us about how you can develop we can make you a website that will actually make you money. Now, a couple of questions somebody asked. They said, hey, depends on the state regs and everything else. Can a pharmacist administer these NADs, glutathione, and all that? It all depends on your state. You need to check with your board of pharmacy. I know in Arkansas, we got some pharmacists that are administering even GLP. The patients were going in the store and getting their weekly dose. So the other question was that with the GLP variation, like these B6 glycine and things like that, is that legal? Yes, it is legal. Okay, so it is legal. And the other thing that I want to say is that these products, let me just see if I can actually show you something really quick. If I can pull this up. Can everybody see this, Greg? Friar Levitt?
Sure do.
Yeah, okay. So this is the letter that we have from Friar Levitt, dated April 25th, about those um, repackaging of Ozempic. So if you ever have doubt in mind, we can definitely provide you with the Friar Levitt letter that says that it's absolutely okay. There's nothing wrong with pre-packaging, repackaging medications like that. And this is how you need to do it. So for that reason, what we're asking you is that uh, if you want to get on that Ozempic deal, you need to, again, go to rxconnection.com/contact one, numeric one, and put in your name. We'll send that over to you, fill it out, send it in. Minimum's 25, and now you become our client. It's not because we're trying to get orders, because according to legal advice, we have to sign you up before, next week or so, or middle of next week. I don't know exact date, but it's sometimes next Monday, Tuesday, or something, Wednesday next week. And that is, then you become our client. Then we can continue selling you those products. But if you come after that date, hey, I want to get that stuff, we're not taking any more new clients because we cannot sell it to you legally. So keep that in mind. And our intention is not to sell you $10,000 worth of Ozempic. That's not at all what we're trying to do. So it's just we have to follow the letter of the law. So with that in mind, if there are no other questions, do we see any other questions? I don't see one, but please, if you have any questions, just be sure you contact us and go to our website, schedule a call, and we'll be more than happy to schedule a call with you, get you going. As we say, we can get you in, you can have your telemedicine and everything you need within hours. And I'm just talking about if we really put our effort in, you can have everything going within 30 minutes, really. That's how fast it can be. Okay. But just imagine within 24 hours, you got everything you need to grow your business. And we look forward in uh, you joining our webinars in the future. We're going to dig deeper in our future webinars that we're going to have, and Greg is invited on all of those. And then we're going to dig deeper into urology, EDs, health, men's health, women's health, and supplements, and all these other kind of stuff that we have in store for you. Thank you for joining spending your last 45 minutes with us. I hope you learned something from our conversation. Again, we're not here to take anything away from you. We're not here to take your hard-earned money. I'm a previous multi-store owner, and I know how hard it is that you guys work just to make a buck, just to lose it on a one prescription for insulin. So we want to make sure you help you, build a more profitable pharmacy. Greg, thank you for being here. And
Absolutely.
we always learn a lot of. I always learn a lot of stuff listening to you. So, so with that in mind, thanks everyone, and hope you join us again in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.